Right, so here we are, back in the cabin. As you'll see, I've got my wire now arrived for the bus wire and the dropper wires. So we're ready to get going on that. But unfortunately today, I haven't got time, typically. But today is Monday, so I'm playing golf on Tuesday. So Wednesday morning I shall come in here and we'll start setting up the bus wire, and then we'll start hopefully laying some track during the day Wednesday. In the meantime, what I have got time to do this morning is that the cork is now glued down nice and properly. Like I said in the last episode, I did use copy decks, and I've had two of my subscribers, Ian from Ian's Engage and Chris from Wheezy Palace, saying be careful when you drill through because the copy decks gets caught up in the drill bit. Now, I did know this, but I'd forgotten, because when I took the layout up last time, some of the cork I'd put down for the track bed, I'd used a bit of copy decks on that, and it did get caught up. So, so if I do drill down, Chris from Wheezy Palace, thank you Chris, and Ian, has said perhaps just use a little nail to make the initial hole before you drill your pilot hole and then drill the final hole. So that's what I'll probably do, as long as I remember, because I have a tendency to forget now. But yeah, so I got this cheap the other day in B&Q. It's masonry colour tester, but it's in grey, and that's all I want for this. Hopefully it won't all curl up and go horrible. Don't think it will. And I'll come back to you once it's done, just to show you what I've done. I won't bore you with me painting it, so catch you in a bit. Right, okay, so 10 minutes later and we're done. It's quite hard work actually painting on cork, isn't it? But yeah, there we go, nice and simple. Quite like the colour of that grey actually. So I've got plenty of it left. It was a bargain. I think it's only a tester pot, and I think it was in the old little bargain bucket they had in there, and it was like £2. So I thought, well, it's worth it rather than paying sort of about £16-17 for a whole tin. So there we go. Okay, so I'll come back to you in a bit in the next segment. Right, so I've had a little bit more time than I thought today, and I've set myself up a little test track. I've got a new logo coming. I haven't ordered a chip for it yet, but I can run it on either DC or DCC, because I've got my DC connector, and over here, just dangling down there, I can connect that up to my DCC. So it's not obviously fully wired, it's only wired at them points, so that's where they get the power from. So if you follow my finger, it goes right the way round. I've used two pieces of radius 3 set track curves, and like I say, it is just this test track. We come right round here, right round, up to there, around, and we come back again. So a nice little test track for when some new stuff arrives. And like I say, I should be able to run some DCC on it, but I've got to set up my Z21 again. But yeah, I just wanted to do that because if I do, like I say, I have got some new stuff coming. So I can run it in, I can have the trains running around while I'm working on the station area up that far end, sorry about that, right up the far end there. So yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So hopefully next time you'll see some trains running, but I have really run out of time today now, and I'll be back in here on Wednesday. So yeah, looking forward to have some trains running again. Right, now here's a first at Exehaven, the Castle class. The Z21 has remembered this one as well. It has never pulled that many coaches. I mean, that is magnificent, and that's what I want. That's why I took the old layout up, so that this kind of thing can happen. We've got a full rake of coaches. She's going like the clappers here. She was a bit reticent to start with after a long time away. Oh, I'm so pleased. I wasn't sure that the Castle class could actually pull this amount of coaches, but she sure can. I'm going to slow her down in a minute, see if she'll pull that rake a little bit slower. Like I say, she hasn't run for a while and she was a bit jerky. It's still a little bit jerky here and there actually, but I think that might be to do with the track that it runs over, the connecting tracks, but she's still doing fine. Right, so here we are. The locomotive that I've been after for ages has arrived. It's the Dapole Schools class, and I've got it in the BR green with the late emblem. And this is Brighton. And this was a schools class that used to run out of London down to probably the docks and all over the place. And I thought it was rather fitting for Exehaven. Although Exehaven is set in Devon, I wouldn't imagine they come down to Devon, the schools class. They might have done. Might have to do some more research on that, or somebody might be able to fill me in on that. But I'm about to start testing it, just got it out of the box. I think, fingers crossed, I've got a little bargain. I was after this is what I'd set out to buy at Getz. I only found one while I was there, early BR emblem. And it doesn't quite fit in with the Exehaven theme, so I didn't buy that. But anyway, I was scouring the internet as I do, and Tennant's trains I come across had one of these returned to them. Now there's like a drive shaft in here, and they'd advertised it as it had been mishandled and sent back, and it was the drive shaft had come attached. So they refixed it. I think they've run it in. Well, I know that they've run it in, and I think it retails for £167 brand new, which essentially this is, and I've got it for 112 because of the problem they had, and technically they're selling it second hand. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, I haven't bought a DCC chip for it yet, but I'm running it in on my test track. On my DC, my faithful old Hornby controller, and I shall give you some running shots very shortly. Right, now here she comes down. It's been running for about five minutes or so, 10 minutes, and she's a pretty good runner. And this is, like I say, it's just on DC. The test track will do DCC and DC. But yeah, she's, well, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, she's a fine little runner. Lovely detail on this loco, I'm so pleased with it. But the first couple of minutes I had a bit of a problem, which I will show you. I didn't video it, but I can show you what the problem was. And she goes off up in the distance. I'll come back round. And I've never experienced this before, as she goes past. But this little piece here was between the loco and the tender. So I actually started her off on this piece of track into this first curve. Now, I didn't know that was in there to start with. And of course I started it up. Every time it got to the curve, it derailed.
Now I'm thinking, oh no, you know, all sorts of things go through your head in terms of perhaps this is why it got sent back, blah blah blah. And anyway, that little bar, like I say, was between the loco and the tender, and as I picked the loco off the track just to sort of start having a look, that sort of slipped out. So I poked it right out, and of course what it was doing was preventing sort of any real curvature or turning circle, if you like, for the loco. And every time it hit the curb, it come off. And so anyway, problem solved. But I've never seen that before. So another little lesson learned. And so going from that, the house is running now. I'm very pleased. So there we go. Off she goes into the distance. And I'll come back to you when I've run her in and I've got some coaches or something behind her, because I've got something to show you there. That'll be nice. I think they've shown me already, to be fair. Okay. Right, so now sometime later, and we have got a full rake being pulled. Very pleased with how she's handling that. That's technically the first two parcels vans shouldn't be on it, but I've just done it as a test really, and they're new and I still like looking at them a lot. And of course the other coaches, the other dapole coaches, are southern region, and they would have very likely been pulled by a schools class at some point, and I believe that's going to be my train of choice. I've got, like I said before, the southern region coaches, I've got them in green as well, which the late emblem probably would have pulled more than these, but you know, I just like the colour. And it does fit. So fitting in with the theme of Exehaven, just about. There she goes, she's running like a good one. She's had a good half an hour each way, backwards and forwards. And yeah, and this is still running under DC. Obviously I've got to order a chip yet, so I shall probably do that this afternoon. In the next few days we can have that all programmed in. That'll be interesting to see how she runs. But there we go.
Right, so back in the cabin, and I've been working away on the back scene for behind the station, Exehaven Harbour station, and I've come up with this little plan. Now the two buildings either side in a slightly different coloured brick are the scale scenes downloadable kits, and the one in the middle, the main building, is from Sankey Scenics as a back scene building, which I've mounted on card, and I actually think that looks rather good, although I think I'm going to have to take the two outer buildings back a little bit, although I think I might have room for the road down there, but it's going to be a bit tight. But anyway, we'll have a little look at that as we go along, but I think that sits in there rather nicely, you know. What I might do, because there's another part to that Sankey Scenics back scene building, I might add that, which would then put the right hand side building down a little bit further. So we might go ahead and do that, but I'm rather kind of pleased that's turned out. They're not finished by any means, and obviously there'll be a road in there where the building's set back, the middle building. I'll probably put some gates there and a fence and make it look like some sort of yard. So that doesn't look too bad at all. I know they're different colours, and I actually thought about it, and I thought, well, will I use it, will I won't? And I thought, actually, it doesn't look terrible. The scale scenes kit I have downloaded some time ago, so in the meantime I've bought that same continuous back scene building, and I think they all go together okay. It's not going to be like, oh my god, what is that? So when it's all weathered up and it's all in place, I think that might look quite nice. Right, okay, so that kind of wraps this one up. It's taken a little while to do, and sadly the schools class shortly after filming that blew up. Now it's in for repair, and I'll tell you about that perhaps in the next video when it comes back and we can see some more running. But yeah, I've got to say that blew up, and I walked out the cabin and I wasn't a very happy chap. And to be honest, I lost my mojo a little bit with it all, and I haven't done hardly anything out there. Hence why it's taken a little while to get this video out. But happily, I've got my mojo back, and I will be working on it again next week. Not going to get much chance this week. You know, actually life has got in the way a little bit with other things, so but hopefully next week I'll be back out in that cabin working away. But yeah, like I say, there are sometimes there are little triggers in life, isn't there? And that was a little trigger for me. I come stomping back in the house, Mrs. Exehaven got it in the ear. I said, that's it, I've had it with model railways, I can't be bothered with it. It's too much hassle. Every time I get something new, something goes wrong with it. So, you know, that's how I felt at the time. But, like I say, I'm back on it, and I've got over it a bit, got over myself, and we're back here again. So thanks ever so much for watching. Hope you like this video. It's, you know, it's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that in it, and hopefully, like I say, we'll be back on it soon. So cheers everyone, bye for now.